Hi, and welcome to Object-Oriented Programming. There is another common format for writing description of parts of our application. It's called a user story. Now, a user story is simpler and shorter than a use case. It still describes single small scenario from a user's perspective, focused on their goal rather than on the system. It's what they want to do and why they want to do it. But unlike a user case, which would be several pages, a user story is typically written just as one, perhaps two sentences, and they are very common written on the index cards. And the focus us to keep them short and sweet, and that's kind of point here. But even though they are concise, user stories do tell general follow a particular format. And the format looks something like this. As a type of user or role, I want. Here you describe the goal, so that, the reason or the benefit, the part, and so that is optional, but it is very useful. So an example, as a bank customer, I want to be able to change my PIN online so that I don't have to go to the branch. Focused on one specific goal on one specific user for a particular reason, or as a regular user, I want to search by keyword so that I can find and read relevant articles. The idea is you can quickly brainstorm a lot of user stories, even quite particular ones. As a user, I want to sort entries by date so I can find the most recent contents. We could be describing big goals. We could be describing small but important specific like this. We are still focused on intention. Say, as a reader, I want to change the font and color scheme so that I can read in different lighting. But we are not describing user interface. We are not actually describing buttons that are clicked on how this is done. We are focused on the intent. And what we are doing is expressing one need. We are not detailing alternate paths or exceptions or listing any technical information. They are very quick, readable summary of what a specific goal is and why the user wants it. They can be done very early on, often right at the start of the project, and they can serve a placeholder for deeper conversation that you need to have. When you first hear about them, it can be tempting to regard a user story as just a short use case, but that would be a mistake. They are really very different things. Well, the difference is format the obvious. One is very short, one could be one or several pages. Perhaps my favorite description of a user story is that it is a placeholder for a conversation. It's a reminder that we need to get deeper into details of something. Whereas a use case can be regarded as a record of the conversation that already happened. It will detail the steps of how a particular goal may or may not be achieved. Now, certain software developers' methodologies favor one of these over the other. If someone told me that their company was doing a formal unfired process methodology, I'd expect to see a use case. But if I'm working with Scrummer, extreme programming team, I'd expect to see focus on use case. But these are not direct competitors. They are different tools that should both be part of your own toolkit. You could use one or the other, or in many cases, both. But however you do it, describing your system in simple languages is incredibly useful. We don't just write these and save them as a historical record, it's whatever we write. Use case or user stories or both, we use it as input for the next stage of the process, dropping down into identifying the main objects that our application needs. So that's all for this video, and thank you so much for watching.